to over 2,700, and just a few months ago, Jesus. Hey everybody, Maxwell Ventura, realtor here in San Diego. Today we're going over the October monthly market update here in San Diego. And you'll see I've got 4 different slides we're gonna run through starting right now. All right, now you'll see that this first page is speaking on a national level, 14.9% median sales price increase year over year. San Diego is actually around the same. Now you'll also see that they mentioned the declining affordability and the effect it has. Now this makes sense with the rate that homes are appreciating not only here but on a national level compared to inflation and the mortgage rate staying relatively the same. Of course, affordability is going to go in the opposite direction. However, San Diego is remaining around the same that it has for the recent memory, and I'll show you on the next slide. You also see that they mention a shift in the market right now. Again, on a national level, maybe San Diego, I do not believe that to be the case. Next, you'll see the new listings hitting the market are bucking the seasonal trends. Well, new listings, again, I'm going to defer to the next slide, are actually going in the opposite direction. Inventory is really not getting much better. Now, when on a seasonal level, you have to realize that last year, 2020, was anything but a cyclical market. Usually real estate is cyclical, and you have a bump up of new listings and more activity in the springtime, and then falling in the fall when we get closer to winter. Was not the case at all last year. We steamrolled all the way through, and I would suspect that we will see a ripple effect for the upcoming years. Lastly, you'll see 114 straight months of year-over-year appreciation. If you divide that by 12 months, we're at 9.5 years, which takes us back to right around 2012. It just has been constant appreciation year-over-year every single month since then. Okay, now as we move on to page 2, this is our total market overview. Keep in mind, this is for the entire county of San Diego, and it's encompassing detached homes, townhomes, and condos. So starting off with new listings, you'll see they are down significantly year over year. And remember, I mentioned that last year was anything but cyclical. So negative 24%. Pendings and closed are going to be a lagging metric, so I would expect them to be reverse as well, especially with the less inventory that we have year over year. Median sales price up 15.2%. So if you purchased, you can see last year a median sales priced home at $660,000. You've now made $100,000 in equity just from appreciation alone, which is only one portion of your real estate return. The percentage of original list price received. So this actually has been going down. This was as high as 104.3% as an average, which is just insane. Many months, I would say about 6 or so months ago. Now we're at 101.5. So you take an extra 1.5% is the average offer accepted price compared to the list price. So about a 1.5% over list is what we're seeing on average is what gets accepted. But I have to remind you, this is just an average. I had an instance just this past weekend. We submitted an offer, and after speaking with the listing agent, their offer accepted price is going to be over an additional 5%. So it really depends on the neighborhood and your price point. This was a detached single family residence right in the Rolando area that was priced just shy of $800,000, and the offers going to get accepted well into the 800s. So it all depends. Take that with a grain of salt. Days on market, you'll see, is among the lowest we've seen it as an average, down to 20 days, 3 weeks. Now again, the homes that are priced well at market, turnkey, ready to go, entry level, single family residences, detached, they're gonna go a lot quicker than that. They're typically only on market for 1 weekend, maybe 2, and if they get to a 3rd, then we typically know something's wrong at that point. Price too high, or maybe there's some issues going on with the house, maybe there's tenants still living there, etc. And affordability index, this is what I brought up earlier. You see it's at 50. So that means that 1 out of every 2 people in the county can afford a median sales price home. Now that number, as low as it is, has been that way for the last 6 to 8 months. You can see the year over year was at a score of 59. Now this is on a 100-point scale. But you have to take into consideration what's happening right now, and this will actually be shown on the next slide when we talk about what's happening with San Diego County and all of the venture capital funding that's coming through and all of the tech. We're continuing to get younger, richer, more educated, and 2/3 of the people that are coming into California, not even just San Diego, have a bachelor's degree or higher. So while the median sales prices have continued to increase dramatically, and you can see that, the affordability index has actually stayed relatively the same over the last 6 to 8 months. Now, if you look at the total homes for sale, you'll see we're just over 2,700, yet a few months ago, we were all the way up to 3,600, then 3,300, then 3,000. So the market is still moving at an aggressive pace. Inventory is really low, and the speed, you can see the month supply of inventory is still at 0.8, which is less than just 1 month supply. And just to recap what that means, if homes were to continue selling at the same pace, yet no new listings were to hit the market, then that's the amount of time it would take for all of our inventory to be completely dried up. 0.8, so about 4/5 of just 1 month. So you'll see, moving on to slide 3, over 22 trillion in equity nationwide. Not only that, almost 24 trillion in savings accounts, and that doesn't even take into consideration life insurance or pension funds. So we are rolling in assets. This is one of the greatest wealth building moments in all of real estate history. You'll also see that the unemployment rate continues to decline. That's great. While the employment rate is actually less than 5 million on a national level, and that almost brings us back to the pre-COVID levels. Now, while California's population increase has been minimal, albeit potentially negative, it's not the case here in San Diego. As I mentioned before, 2/3 of the people coming to California have a bachelor's degree or higher, and not only that, 2 of the 3 biggest metropolitan areas in terms of venture capital coming in is here in California: San Francisco and San Diego, and then in Boston as well. You'll also see that almost 500,000 Californians filed for new business licenses this year in 2021. That's over 21% more than last year. And lastly, another indicator to follow is the state's general fund revenues. Personal income over the last 3 years, tax collections have increased 47%, while corporate revenues have essentially doubled. So I hope this was quick and to the point. I'm gonna make a point to do this every month. We'll give you the data really quickly, and I hope it helps you with your purchasing power and decision processing. I will see you on the next video, and I hope you all have a great rest of your week. Take care.